YouTube! Today I'm going to do a book review on Game of Thrones. It's the first book in the series A Song of Ice and Fire, and it is by George R.R. Martin. I picked this book up at Chapters at the mall, and I needed to read it because I'd watched the HBO series Game of Thrones. I watched the first season and I was like, well, the book's probably even better than the show, and it is. The book is definitely better than the show. Just want to take a look at the cover here. It's nice and, blue. The spine's quite big, so it does, I don't know if you can see really, but it's split. Yeah, I should have got hardcover. Okay, I'm going to read the back of the book right here. I'm not going to read this little bit because it's not really relevant. In a land where summers can last decades and winters a lifetime, trouble is brewing. The cold is returning, and in the frozen waste to the north of Winterfell, sinister and supernatural forces are massing beyond the kingdom's protective wall. At the center of the conflict lie the Starks of Winterfell, a family as harsh and unyielding as the land they were born to. Sweeping from a land of brutal cold to a distant summertime kingdom of Epicurean plenty, here is a tale of lords and ladies, soldiers and sorcerers, assassins and bastards who come together in a time of grim omens. Amid plots and counterplots, tragedy and betrayal, victory and terror, the fate of the Starks, their allies, and their enemies hangs perilously in the balance as each endeavors to win that deadliest of conflicts, the Game of Thrones. Okay, so the book is about mainly this guy, Eddard Stark, who is Lord of Winterfell, which is like the winter city. He's very close to the king of the kingdoms, King Robert Baratheon. And King Robert pays a visit and asks Eddard to be his hand. So Eddard Stark goes to King's Landing with the king, and he's his right-hand man, and blah, blah, blah. But while all of this is going on, there's all this treason and secrets and a lot of miscommunication. And people get really angry and they just want to defend their honor. Some secrets come out about the royalty, and that's just a whole shit fest. I love the characters in this book because there's so many of them, and they're all from different ages. I think the youngest one is Bran. And Bran is 7. Bran is 7. In the show, he's 9, but he's 7 in the books. And he's the youngest character that you get to read from their point of view. And then you have Arya, Sansa, Jon, Lady Catelyn Stark, Lord Eddard Stark, Tyrion Lannister, Daenerys Targaryen. I'm totally missing someone. Well, I have no idea who I'm missing, but I think it's someone. All the characters are really unique, and they're real. They feel real, and they're lovable. But at the same time, they do stuff and you're like, why would you do that? But it's just in their character. I think the only thing I didn't like about this book is that it was so freaking long. I'm pretty sure the first season of the HBO show is the same as the first book. So I might not even finish it. Just because I know what's going to happen and I just don't really care. The best point about this book is definitely the characters and how it's written in the chapters. Each chapter is a character. Switches up characters every chapter, which is nice because if a character comes up that I don't like I didn't like reading Catelyn and I didn't like reading Eddard because, I don't know, they bore me. But, after I got through a chapter of theirs, then I'd be given a character that I like Jon or Tyrion or Daenerys. But it keeps the book fresh, and there's so many different plots going on at the same time because everyone is so far away from each other and they can't communicate just by calling each other up and being like, yo, this is going on down at King's Landing. No, it doesn't work like that. They have to send crows and ravens and armies of men to send a message. But yeah, this was my first fantasy book that I've read, really. Well, high fantasy, medieval fantasy. And I really like it, and I'm definitely stoked on reading the rest of the series. I have the first 4 books in a box set already, and I'm going to make sure I read the second book. I'm definitely going to read that before Season 2 of the HBO series, A Game of Thrones, starts, because I want to know what's going on this time. In the show, I found it was really hard to know what's going on because there's so many characters and you don't know who anyone is, and they have similar names. And I had no idea who Theon Greyjoy was in the show, but when I was reading the book, I was like, oh, I know who he is, I like him. So yeah, in conclusion, if you don't mind your books being a tad lengthy, then this book is good for you. If you like high fantasy, if you like lords, ladies, some sword play, some, you know, dead people attacking people, that's good too. Yeah, 4 stars I'd say. 5 if I wasn't such a little pansy and I didn't mind reading such huge books. Okay, I will see you next week. I hope this review was helpful. I'm going to carry on reading 1984 by George Orwell, and that's probably the next review I'm going to do. I don't think I'll be done it by next week, but you never know. Alright, comment, rate, subscribe, whatever. I'll see you later. Bye. Oh, bye, Luke. It's my frog, Luke. And then Han's right there. I don't know where Anakin is. Anakin's probably under my bed. I don't use him very much. He's a ladybug.